My name is Lucas Zarraga, and I'm here with Master Instructor Tom Adams from the Needham Martial Arts Center to talk about how Kung Fu can help overcome bullying through gaining confidence and building character. Thank you for being here today, MIT, which is what I call Master Instructor Tom.
My pleasure, Lucas.
So today I'm going to ask Master Instructor Tom a few questions about the Needham Martial Arts Dojo, its community, and how it really can help people gain more confidence in themselves. So to start off, what is Kung Fu like, or what is the environment for the students like, and what's the environment for the instructors like, including yourself? How would you describe it?
Wow, that's a lot right there.
Yeah, I know. It's a big general question, but if you had to say the community and the feeling that you get from the environment, like how do you feel doing Kung Fu, you know?
Well, the environment that I try to create in the studio is one where students have a place where they can come in and be challenged physically and mentally. If they're willing to work hard, we can guide them and show them ways to build themselves up in their bodies and their minds. Discipline, determination, willpower, by overcoming the daily challenges in practice.
Yes, I agree with that too, because with my own personal experience from the dojo, I started when I was around 7 years old, so I've been doing Kung Fu for around 9 years, but during the first few years, I had a very difficult time. As you know, sir, you have been my master instructor for these past 9 years, and I'm grateful for that. But throughout my journey, I have struggled physically and mentally, as you have mentioned, but throughout my journey in Kung Fu, I personally have gained a greater understanding in not only what it means to stay physically healthy, but to also be mentally healthy and to control yourself mentally as well, especially when it came to dealing with my bully in elementary school. So Kung Fu has been a great help for me in that kind of way, and it's really helped me realize that the skills that I've gained throughout the journey are what make me a great person with a lot of potential, and realizing that being bullied isn't really something that's worth my time, you know? Like, this Kung Fu has helped me grow as a person and mature more through dealing with my bully and getting over it instead of pondering and dwelling on it for the rest of my life. So that's kind of what Kung Fu has helped me do. And that kind of transitions into more of a specific question that I have. So what is one main activity or a set of exercises, you can be general or you can be specific, that you feel like can make people stronger mentally, physically, and maybe even spiritually? Like a set of exercises that you like to do for a class, and it can be for any level, like a basic level or an advanced level. So do you think you would have one in mind, sir?
Well, you gave the most general question there, wow. There's no one set of exercises. It's not so much the exercise itself, it's how you do the training, how the training is conducted. Like I said, if you want to grow stronger, you have to overcome challenges. The bullying that you encountered, okay, you can look back on it now and say, oh, I don't really have time for that, but unless the bully is dealt with, it's hard to do much beyond that. So you had to gain the strength physically and mentally, and mentally it's your confidence is part of that, so that you were able to deal with that. And then, you know, use those strengths not to deal with the bully anymore, because that's in the past and nobody's going to pick on you. You're strong. A lesson I learned a long time ago was greater strength allows you to ignore the threats of aggression, so you can just walk away. Otherwise, if it intimidates you, then it's harder to achieve the great things that you are now. So there's no one set of exercises. It's how you do the training, and it has to progress from a beginner level on up, depending on the student, their age, and their ability. And some you have to be more patient with, and some go faster. Every case is a little bit different.
Right. I understand that, sir. But I want to hear your opinion on this, because I actually have found a set of exercises that really helped me deal with frustration in general, not just bullying. But during the time I got bullied, I had a huge frustration and I dealt with it a lot at home. But at Kung Fu, there's these set of exercises I love doing, and I want to hear your opinion from this.
Please.
But I love doing the hold stances at the dojo, and I'll tell you why it's helped me, because the hold stances, right, they're isometric, so you don't move. You're staying in a position, one position for a really long time, but the pain gradually rises, and you have to continue breathing and maintaining that focus in order to hold that stance, right? And I feel like that kind of matches with the way a lot of people deal with bullying. As they get bullied more, or as they face more of that mental tension and that pressure, you become more and more aware that, you know, you don't really like this person, this bully is annoying you, but the more and more you're getting annoyed, it becomes more and more of a challenge to not stay involved or to not get into direct or physical contact with that person, because they're always picking on you. And that, I feel like, is a real challenge that hold stances present. And if you can do that, then in a sense, you're also mentally strengthening yourself, which makes you strong enough to push this person away from you, not in a violent way, but out of your mental boundaries, so that you can really deal with that kind of mental attack from any kind of person who's trying to harm you in any way. So do you agree with me on that?
I understand, and I agree, but my answer is still the same. And first of all, the bullies, at this point, we're dealing with bullies for the most part that not just enter your mental boundaries, but they're entering your physical boundaries. When they start to touch you, and that's where you have to step back and not allow that. You have to stand up, because the bullies are looking to pick on people who don't stand up. They don't have the confidence. They're smaller, weaker, nicer, or any combination. That's who they choose, just like a wild animal. As far as the set of exercises, well, it is not a set of exercises. You're saying hold stances. It's the training. It's taking any posture and challenging you to hold it longer. That becomes the mental part of that training, along with the physical part that you go through while you're being challenged. Everything that happens there, that will build strength, that will build willpower, determination, confidence as you see yourself grow stronger, and also the postures are strengthening you for different stances that will be used in movements to defend yourself, if necessary, against said bully, because sometimes you do have to push them away or fight back if they're going to continue to try to hurt you. So all of those options are there, but if you build the confidence, usually you can stop it before it ever becomes violent.
I understand that, sir. Yeah, I agree. And I also wanted to ask you also about the defensive training that you do in Kung Fu. So you find that very important, correct? How you teach students to defend yourself rather than attacking more, because attacking, I believe, instigates more of the violence, especially that you see in bullying, while self-defense rather is keeping yourself safe and telling the bully to back off, but not necessarily trying to hurt him, just trying to keep yourself safe. So you find that very important too in your training, correct?
Well, we're talking about now situations in school-age children. It could be younger, elementary school, middle school, high school. We're not talking about adult criminals that are threatening your life at this time. Sometimes in those cases, when the situation presents itself, striking first might be better if the threat to your life is there. But we're talking about children, and so we want to avoid the physical confrontation, and 99% of the time it can be done, but the kid who's being bullied has to be taught how to do that, and given the opportunity to build the confidence so that they can do that.
Right. I understand that. And I also wanted to ask, transitioning to another kind of mental improvement that Kung Fu gives off, how could you describe the social community or the social environment between both the students and the instructors? How would you describe how tight-knit and close the relationships are, and the kinds of friendships and bonds that people make through doing Kung Fu? How would you see it in the dojo, sir?
It's a lifetime bond to the students that stay with it. You talked about students and instructors. Well, guess what? I'm the master instructor, but I was a white belt student. I went through the ranks, and I did all of that, and every instructor has done the same. Some started at 4, 5, 6, 7 years old and are now teenage instructors and black belts, so they've taken all those steps as well. And when you're out there in the practice room, you do it all together, and so you can't hide. You see who's pushing hardest, you see who's strongest, and you see who might be newer, younger, weaker, but you want to encourage them. And when they try hard and get better, it's a great feeling. And when you recognize it and see their confidence grow, everybody's in there trying to do the same thing. And being respectful is a unique thing that you don't see in a lot of environments, at least at the level that you do in the school. So it's a nice, safe, comfortable, respectful place to be.
Yes, I agree with that too. And just speaking from my own experience at the dojo, when I first started out, I didn't really have as many friends, but throughout the first few months and then gradually the next few years, I began to make plenty of friends, not just because they were fun people to be around or because I got to be with them every week at the dojo, but as you said, it was because we got to do the same things. We were enduring through the same training, the same exercises, we were learning the same forms, the same moves, and that really bonded us together and we became close friends. And I feel that's also a very important thing to do when it comes to dealing with a bully. It's having your friends behind your back. It's having relationships to fall back on, because your bully might make you feel like you're alone, but having those friends is a crucial thing to have. And so Kung Fu, and along with many other things, but as of right now with Kung Fu, it really provides that sense of like a friendly environment that you can lean on, people you can talk to and find support from, because we all learn from the instructors, we all train with each other, with one another, with different students, but in the end, we can talk to every single one of the people in that dojo because we know them so well. So I just think that's a very important thing to have when it comes to dealing with a bully. And so just to transition onto this last question here, based on some of the students you taught, and you don't have to mention anybody in specific, but what kinds of personalities have you seen from students that have either finished their training or have come out of the dojo every single day as a kind of personality? Like, how would you describe their character through doing Kung Fu in the real world? Like, are they confident? Are they competitive?
Someone that's trained for a long period of time, or?
You can do for a long period of time, yeah, like around 5 years or more. Like, what kind of personality have they developed through doing Kung Fu? Have they become competitive? Have they become mentally strong? Have they become more confident in themselves, that they're more socially interactive? Like, what has Kung Fu done to change some people that you know of at the dojo?
Well, there's no one answer because everybody's develops a little bit differently. But in general, the students that train and earn black belts or spend 5+ years, usually at some point, just like you did early on, they start figuring it out, and they realize if they work harder, they get stronger, and you get on a roll. And there's others doing that as well. And from there, the students are just individually, you're just trying to work hard and become the best that they can be.
Right. And I was trying to also touch upon a point of them becoming, and you said there's multiple answers, right? Since everyone is different, everyone's unique. And so don't you agree that Kung Fu can help bring out more of a person's traits, whether or not that makes them?
That's really, it's the individual, they're still the same person, but with confidence. I mean, that's a big part of it, is confidence, practice. You practice in the practice room, as you know. You're challenged. You have to pay attention and follow directions. You have to listen, to hear and follow clearly, and if you do that, you succeed. So you learn to pay attention. You build your confidence. Right. You're stronger. You have now a contrast compared to those bullies of people that are good friends and how they treat you. And now you realize you don't have to put up with that kind of bad behavior in your life. You don't have to deal with the people that want to treat you that way.
Yes, exactly. Like I was just going to say, that sense of discipline can bring people closer to you, knowing that you can listen to them and you can follow certain directions and be a good person. But then that sense of discipline, especially mentally, can also push bad people away, such as bullies, from your own life.
Absolutely.
And as you said, dealing with physical violence is a whole other situation where you will need to get a responsible figure and you will need to perhaps defend yourself if they are bothering you. But mentally, that leaves more of a stain throughout the rest of your life. But if you have that kind of mental discipline and that strength, you can move on from it. You can push that away.
They go together.
Yeah.
When you that's the Kung Fu training, is you combine
Yes.
both mental and physical. You don't just try to cultivate one, both. So that, and they support each other. As your body gets stronger, you get more confidence. You have more confidence, you're going to try harder, and then your body continues to get stronger. You have abilities to block and strike back that you feel like if you have to, you're much better prepared. And,
Exactly.
and that confidence keeps most bullies away. They'll choose someone else. It doesn't solve the bully problem, okay, but it solves, at least you're not being bullied. And
Right.
in some cases, the bully learns a lesson and hopefully they change.
Yes. And I think that is a good note to end on, because I just wanted to address something involving a more broad perspective on whether or not someone does Kung Fu, whether or not it's in martial arts in general. As long as somebody, I feel like, has something, can find something to commit to, something that they can really put themselves into, find a passion for, something they can discipline themselves for, so that they can become more confident in themselves and bring out more of their own personality, as we have discussed throughout this, I believe that you can move on from the kinds of mental attacks that are presented from bullying. The kinds of things that bullies leave behind in people's lives, leaving people feel insecure and less confident and less willing to show who they really are. But I believe that things such as Kung Fu and far beyond, people who dedicate themselves to those things can find a resolve in that, can find confidence in their own person, in their own character. And that's what my journey was throughout my 9 years at Kung Fu, at the dojo. I was able to commit all of that time every week and be able to train with students who were my age, get along with friends, have people to fall back to, but to also build up my physical strength, which is a huge, awesome perk, but also being able to mentally discipline myself and becoming more of a mature person and someone who's developed and willing to be me more often, to show my personality to the whole world. And so that is what I believe Kung Fu has done for me. It can do many other things, many different things for many different people. And I think that is all you need to seek out when it comes to dealing with your bully or anyone who's mentally attacking you. So thank you today for talking with me, Master Instructor Tom. It's been a pleasure.
Lucas. My
Yes.
pleasure, Lucas.
Thank you so much.
All right.